right, everybody. It's here. It's November 5th, and I know that you know what that means. Today is the day we must bravely band together and make our voices heard as we commemorate the 494th anniversary of the St. Felix flood, which decimated the Dutch coast and destroyed the city of Reimerswal in the Netherlands. And of course, the best way to do such a thing is to learn to play Godzilla on our guitars. But before we do, I'd like to take just a quick moment to thank the following people, none of whom were alive in 1530, for signing up for the Patreon supporter of the Cause Club: Phil McKibben, Sam, David Kimball Stanley, Andres, Andrea Valsecchi, and Clint Colding. Thank you very much for your support on this trying day. And if you would like to find out what that's all about, the link will be in the description. The main riff can be played using only power chords if that's what tickles your druthers, but let me show you where the root notes are first. It's going to be E2, A2-4, E4, 5, A6-7, down to E7, slide down and repeat the whole thing. F sharp, B, C sharp, G sharp, A, D sharp, E, B, repeat, and so on. And as we turn those single notes into power chords, I'm going to recommend 2-finger power chords, not 3-finger power chords, and there's 2 reasons for that. But the first reason is for the F sharp and the A. Anytime you're staying on a chord for a while, you'll notice there's a bendy wiggle, a bwiggle, and if I do 2-finger power chords, I can put my middle finger there to brace my ring finger on the A string, and I can bwiggle with the strength and coordination of 2 fingers. Repeat, repeat. But there's one more detail that you can care about or not, and this is the other reason to do 2-finger power chords. In actuality, all of the A string power chords aren't power chords for at least one of the guitars anyways. It's the whole major bar chord. So B, for instance, would be 2 and then 4, 4, 4 on D, G, B. C sharp, 2 frets higher, we got the D sharp there and the E there. And all the slides happen on those. So if you're doing 3-finger power chords, it's a little harder to switch, and I do believe that they are doing 2-finger power chords, so I guess that's the third reason. And if there's 2 guitar players in your Blue Oyster Cult cover band, one of them can do this. Grab the B string 17th fret, right? And if there's 3 guitar players in your Blue Oyster Cult cover band, the other one can grab the G string 9th fret. Because both octaves of that bendy thing happen in the intro at the same time. You can't do them both at once. Anyways, there's that. So that was the intro and the verse. The main riff, the chorus is, well, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. The first way to do it is just an E power chord. That's 3 strings now. Open E, A2, D2. Up to F sharp on the 2nd fret of the E string. That's one option. But there's something else going on there too, and this is classic rock riff tastiness 5006. Now, grab your A string 2nd fret and D string 2nd fret. Those 2 only. Use 1 finger or 2, but just those 2 strings, and it's going to be 3 strums on the 2nd fret, and then 1 strum open. You do that 4 times. And then you do the same thing 2 frets higher for the F sharp power chord section. So A4, D4, down to 2. And then you go back into the main riff. I love that part. And here's why I love that part. That part is an upside down power chord. Now, what I mean by that is this. Consider a 3-finger power chord. Let's do it here at F sharp. We've got an F sharp note, we've got a C sharp note, and we've got another F sharp note. The root note, the F sharp, is the lowest note you hear. It's the bass note when you play a normal power chord. But since the F sharp power chord is made up of any number of F sharps and C sharps in any order, if we don't play that F sharp and just play that C sharp and that F sharp, that's still an F sharp power chord, so the F sharp is no longer the bass note, it's the higher note of the two. The C sharp is in the bass, it is an upside down power chord. This is the Smoke on the Water phenomenon. Same exact thing. Now, I'm not going to show you every single lead in this song because that would be a 49-minute video and I don't think anyone wants that. But some of the value in learning some leads is you can take some of these licks and moves, if you like them, and put them in your own bag o' tricks. The first one I'm going to show you, I think you'll recognize it, is... Now, we're in F sharp minor pentatonic. The first shape of that is going to be up in this octave, 14, 17, 14, 16, 14, 16, 14, 16, 14, 17, 14, 17. Just to orient you, what we're going to do is grab the B string in the 17th fret. It's hard to count up that high. You're going to pluck it 3 times, and as you do, bend it up on that third pluck, and then you're going to pluck it 3 more times and do the opposite. Bend it down or unbend it on the third pluck. So, 2 more plucks on the B17, and then you're going to reach for G16. I'm going to use my middle finger, bend it, reaching for baby E14, and then pluck and unbend your G16, G14, D16, and then G16-14, resolving to the D16. We'll do that whole thing for you. This next lick uses the not so often utilized shape 4 or position 4 of the pentatonic scale, and we're in F sharp, so here it is. It's E9, 12, A, 9, 12, D, 9, 11, G, 9, 11, B, 10, 12, E, 9, 12. So take a minute and memorize that. So this next choice lick is the one that brings us into the first chorus, and he's in that position, but he's going to use some in-between notes. We can think of them as blue notes, wrong notes that sound great. Anyways, starting on D9, then we're going to go 10, 11 as a hammer-on, then to G9, up to 10, and sliding up to 11, ending on B10. Slow. A little faster. Those were both the same speed. Anyways, that's the first part. The second part of it is exactly the same, but we're going to add 1 note at the end. It's the G11. And the third part of it starts with the whole first part, so the second part without the last note. And then we're going to play 12-10 on the B string, bend 12, 12-10, 12-10, down to G11, G9. So, and that note on the G string 9th fret, that's an E note, and that's the note. That's the first note of the chorus. Lead guitar players know this thing. When the rest of the band's going to hit an E chord, you land on an E note. And this last choice lick I'm going to call the signature lick. It's the one that takes us out of the breakdown and into the last chorus. We're going to be in F sharp minor pentatonic down here now, so an octave lower than we did the first time, which was 14, 17, etc. And now we're 2-5, 2-4, 2-4, 2-4, 2-5, 2-5, plus again 1 excellent in-between note. Here we go, starting on A4, D, 2, 3, 4, G, bend it a little bit on 2, D, 4, A4, D, 2, 3, 4, 4. And this has that move in there that you have to do sometimes. When you're going to play a same fret on a string musically below, I landed on D4 with my ring finger. And then I'm going to hit the A4 with my middle finger, even though when I'm practicing the scale, that's a ring finger note. That's the first half of the signature riff. And the second half of the signature riff starts with the exact same thing all the way up to the bend on the G2. But now he's going to go down the scale D, 4-2, A, 4-3-2, and then you hit an E power chord, which is the first chord of the chorus. Part 1 and part 2 together. Your chorus. That's all I care to say about that. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful. If you would like to see a playthrough of that and every song I do on YouTube and get the tab that I make using my own earballs and my own pencil and paper, you'll find that on my Patreon page, so check that out if you think that'll help your learning process. Otherwise, I'll see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.